I'm a natural born hereditary intuitive. I get it from my grandmother. I've said this before. So today we're not going to talk about that. We're going to actually talk about aliens. Do I believe in aliens? Well, yeah, I've always believed in aliens. First of all, because it would be very vain of us to say that aliens didn't exist and that we were the only intelligent life form out there. We're not even the only intelligent life form on this planet alone. So, yes, aliens, they do exist. And now the government is admitting it. So, there we go. These drones and these orbs have created a very big new excitement around that. So, I want to talk about my experiences. When I was very small, I had three imaginary friends. They were at the bottom of the hallway in my closet. And I would spend hours from the time that I was about 2 years old until I was about 7 years old, just talking to and playing with these three friends. My dad, if you were to ask him, would tell you their names were Mita, Blita, and Blick because I was consistent and I spent a lot of time in this dark space at the base of the stairs. And to me now, as a, almost 54-year-old adult, they were still real. I will tell you that I believe that they were real. Now, could they have been spirits? I am a medium. I've always been this way. So it is very possible that they could have been spirits. They could have been my spirit guides for all I know. But I don't interact with my spirit guides this way anymore. So I don't think that they're my spirit guides. Or unless maybe they are, but that's another thing. And I don't see the same things that I saw then. When I was about 10 years old, I remember being in a store that had this glass kaleidoscope, and my dad handed it to me and said, "Look through this and spin it and tell me what you see." And I remember spinning it and watching all of these colors and change and these brilliant colors just making these patterns. And I remember thinking, this is just like when I was little, like I recognized it. I remember the colors that I would see in the closet at the bottom of the stairs. So my conversations with these three beings with lots of vibrant colors in a very dark closet, it doesn't match my experiences as a medium now. That's not the way I see things. That's not how it works anymore. So I think it may be something different. Another thing that happened is when I was working at the Conscious Life Expo one year, I mentioned that I work in a new age type business. And so I was doing the expo at the Conscious Life Expo, and somebody came up to me on alien night or the night that they have the alien panels, and very, very politely came up and said, "I recognize you. You are Lyrian." And I was like, what? And my first instinct when I come across people who say things like this to me is I ask, I'm like, okay, is this real or is this weird? And I didn't get shaken off. In fact, I got, this is okay. And so I was like, all right, so I don't know what that means. And it's like, oh, well, your line comes from Lyra and I just recognize you. And I was like, okay, so I was like, oh, well, thank you. And mind you, the alien panel night is kind of a weird thing. Like you hear a lot of stuff. And for me to say that there's some stuff out there that's kind of nutty, it's, I'm not one to say that some other people are nutty, but like there's some really wild stuff that comes out that night of that expo. But anyways, I took that to heart and I took that home with me. Now I don't really see anything about Lyra here on the internet or on TikTok. I'd be curious to know if anybody else out there has any information on it. But I wasn't shaken off. My intuition didn't say she's wrong. And it was gracious. And so who knows? I don't study this. I'm not one to sit there and focus on reading up on every single thing and getting my hands on every book about, mediumship and astrology and, any of that. Like I just genuinely don't have the time for that. And I'm fascinated by it. I don't discredit anybody else, but I just don't. I don't need to. I don't have to learn how to do this because I just do it. So, it's kind of like the difference between being a natural born singer and not needing to take voice lessons in order to sing. I'm not looking to sing publicly, so I sing well enough. But do I have a hereditary voice? Am I a Lyran? Do I come from a genetic line that was originated from Lyra? Am I just also a hereditary alien? I don't know. But I had 3 imaginary friends when I was little, and their names were Mita, Blita, and Blick. And I'm telling you, as a almost 54-year-old adult, they were real. So take that for whatever it's worth.